Inside the Cave now brings you the official store to get all things Cave Crush and Inside the Cave at cavecrushshop.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cave Crush and like our Facebook page, Cave Crush Shop.
Hey yo! Y'all ready? It's time to go inside the cave.
Inside the Cave.
With CB, Joe Dirt, Big Dog, Sid, Cousin Lamar, International D, Cat, and Belly Veil featuring Roland and Charles Hurd. Inside the Cave, mother.
Talk about it in a second. All right, here we go. Welcome back Inside the Cave, InsideTheCavePodcast.com, CavePodcast.com, CaveCrushShop.com. Let's get right into it. Thank you to everybody who listened to our Best of show last week. Numbers are off the wall. Thank you to all our new listeners and even old listeners who came back, checked us out. Appreciate that. Stick around. We got more coming for you. I am CB at I'm the Real CB. I'm the guy that you all are mad at, got questions about, got more feedback I didn't even get a chance to put in there. It's cool. We'll talk about it. And next to me today, oh, wait a minute. He ain't here? All right. Well, we got the lovely, the beautiful, the talented Cat is back.
Hello, everybody.
Good job. Also with us today, the Southern country rap tune is what he does. Big Dog.
What's up with it, man?
Also with us today, Cousin Lamar makes his return.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
And the Cleese Report podcast coming soon from 3 Leaf Films, rolling.
What's up?
All right, we got a lot to talk about, guys. We're back. Got a lot going on. Some new additions, some new stuff happening. Got some stuff happening next week. We'll get into all that too. Big Herd will be here as well. Sports update. So let's get it started with Kill Yourself and Start Over.
The first segment, see something effed up? The A block. Talk your shit, kill yourself, and start over on Inside the Cave.
Me and Roller was talking right before we went on. Does anybody have a Kill Yourself and Start Over that doesn't have anything to do with this? What's her name? Kanika Jenkins debacle in Chicago. I'll let that go first.
Yeah, I got one.
Go ahead, Lamar.
Yeah, man, there's so much crazy stuff going on. I ain't want to keep it, too serious. I try to lighten it up a little bit, but I'm sure everybody talking about it. Everybody done seen it. But my Kill Yourself and Start Over goes to Young Jock for wearing that blue dress. I don't know if they just had it set Forever 21 or Rue 21 or Rainbow Charlotte Russe. But yeah, nigga, you need to kill yourself and start over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody just sent me that.
Why Young Jock come at the end with at the tail end of sundress season? He could have had it cracking with the trannies.
Man, I don't know.
Sun going down in Atlanta.
They say it's in the water. They say don't when you go to Mexico, don't drink the water. When you go to Atlanta,
I'm probably leaning into the whole conspiracy theory, but he on 4 VH1 TV shows, and then I'm sure he probably got an album about to drop. So maybe he signed that deal. He pledged allegiance. Who knows?
Well, what's funny about that theory?
So you saying Young Jock is a reality hoe?
Nah, you saying he put on that dress. You know what they say when you put that dress on.
Exactly.
Hey, Joe.
But it only worked for so long. Once you that dried up and washed up, that ain't nothing gonna say that career.
Hey, Joe.
Make sure you edit that out.
What you wanted to do, Mr.
Okay. Yeah, I'll edit that out. That did not happen on it.
Yeah.
You know that.
Hey man, I got one that I think is kind of old though.
What you got?
William Hagen and Chris Barker.
Huh?
Two Klan leaders from North Carolina got into this heated argument about who's the most racist. So, you know what I'm saying? They got into a little stabbing and, a little altercation. Maybe they need to try a little harder next time and kill themselves and not start over.
That's funny.
Damn shame.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
And, I do have one more too, man, but I don't really want to get too deep into it right now, but I got to get you rolling. I got to get you kill yourself and start over, bro.
Me?
Yeah, man.
How,
this is
what did I
interesting.
do?
Let's see what happened. What happened?
I'm an angel in this. What you talking about?
Hey, I got a couple of questions for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you take an oath before God
Yes.
on any level,
I
don't care if you're a police officer, anything you got to take an oath for.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't your obligation a little bit different?
Yes, absolutely.
So you're accountable for more than just yourself, right?
For where you're going, I already agreed to that. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Man, listen, you've been sharing the same notes as CB with y'all crazy non-listening skills. What CB likes to do is, I can't believe y'all been on this show this long and not realize what CB does. CB starts an argument. When he starts losing the argument,
that's not true. I never lost an argument.
He changes what the argument is about.
I've never done that.
Classic CB. I'm hip to you now, bro. I've been on the show long enough. I'm hip to you now. As soon as he starts losing, he'll
can't prove that.
What? The original part I called him out on is when he said, "I don't read my Bible and I expect my pastor to read it for me." That's what he said. So I checked him and he tried to switch it up. He's talking about, ain't the pastor and all? Listen, we all know that. Listen, that's not what you said though. You said that you want to go to church, sit in the front row, put your collection in the collection plate, and had a pastor sing to you. That's what you said.
See, I never said that. This sounds funny though.
I'm teasing. Yeah, I'm teasing.
Because it's funny and entertaining, I'm not gonna argue it, but I never said that.
What you saying, CB?
I never said that. I just said that a pastor has a higher responsibility than I do.
But that's not what you opened up with. You said that you didn't read your Bible and your expectation is for your pastor to be able to know and be doing right. And I said, that's true. I said, but where you're wrong is that every man is accountable for his own walk.
Every man is accountable, but everybody expects. There's a but.
There can't be a but, bruh.
How come it can't be?
Okay, because the way the office of pastor works is that he has to give an account for your soul. Meaning that if he hasn't been doing his part, he got the answer for that. But that still don't give you a pass for you doing what you supposed to do.
That's not what I said. We're not talking about me now. We talking about.
You wasn't on that week. I'm telling you, CB.
I heard what he said.
All that stuff y'all trying to argue, I'm saying I'm agreeing with y'all. I'm agreeing with all that. That's not even the point.
How you agreeing when you ain't heard it yet?
Because you're trying to say about the pastor, that wasn't what the conversation was about. That's where CB took it after I called him on his bullshit about not having to read his Bible.
All right, okay, I understand that every man's supposed to read for himself. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm asking you is, are you wrong for expecting your pastor to be a man of God and walk a certain walk?
Absolutely not. You're supposed to hold him accountable to be that. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's what the argument was.
No,
right?
It wasn't.
It was part of it though.
Not. You need to listen to the tape again, bro. I'm too slick.
You know what the problem is with you and CB?
What?
Y'all combine too many arguments into one topic, and then y'all get all in left and right field.
I'm just going off with the first thing the man said when he opened his mouth. I told you what he do. He switched the conversation.
Yeah, but you also said that the pastor is not accountable for you.
Say that again.
Didn't you say the pastor not accountable?
That's not what I said.
did you say that you shouldn't expect anything from the pastor? That what you said?
That's not what I said. No.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said that it's your obligation. The word states that you're supposed to read your own Bible. All that other stuff, I totally agreed with him. Yes, the pastor's responsible. Yes, he has a higher call. He's actually called by God to pastor you. Absolutely.
Well, why he don't preach for free? Why we paying?
Why we paying? Exactly.
Why you paying?
Same thing with doctor.
Now you taking a whole nother argument. If
I'm not making another. I'll ask the question.
Look,
I'm not making an argument.
You said you bought a bottle of beer at 11:58. Then you said you bought the bottle of beer at 12 o'clock. You know you're fucked up, right?
You're fucked up, bro. That's pretty good, Joe. Hey, Joe, who you got this week?
Oh shit. Hey, Roland, you know we're gonna have to revisit this, bro.
We can do it at the end of the show, absolutely, because you ain't listen. You can't get me on this. I studied this way too long, fam. I do this church and Bible thing. I'm trying to tell you, I'm just a heathen right now.
Hey, that's why I got a lot of questions.
Yeah, and I got answers.
I'm glad because I've been looking for somebody to answer some of my questions.
Yeah, I got answers, brother. I got answers. We'll get you there.
Who you got, Joe?
I got ESPN.
Okay, that's good.
ESPN could kill themselves and start over.
Well, they got a lot of
Jemele Hill apologize for calling Donald Trump a racist. Donald Trump is a racist. She didn't say nothing wrong. She didn't call him out of his name. She didn't say nothing false. She tweeted that because she was talking about Kid Rock at first. He's supposed to be trying to run for some political office in Michigan. And she tweeted out that Donald Trump was a racist. And he is.
Well, the thing about Jemele Hill is I actually like her. I used to listen to her podcast when they had the OG podcast. They was doing that joint for free too. They was lit, her and Michael Smith. I do believe that they might have gotten a little bit beside themselves because Jemele and Michael are about the hoodest things on TV right now. Unless you want to mix in a little bit of Shannon. But Shannon's just more activist than anything. He ain't really hood.
Shit, I think Max Kellerman got a lot of hood in him.
That's why they actually on there. They want new flavor.
I know, but I think they might have overstepped. And I'm not saying she's wrong. She had every right to say what she was going to say. And what's even more odd is that ESPN doesn't even, they're owned by ABC, which is very liberal. I mean, which
is owned by Disney, right?
Yeah, which is owned by Disney. Yup, that's what I meant to say. Thanks for correction. They're very, very liberal. They have, homosexuals in their staff and everything. Like I'm surprised that they would even think that was wrong because I'm sure they're not Trump supporters, but I think because their establishment, they have to
stop you, Roland. The reason why
it's all about their bottom dollar.
A Twitter follower told me. He said that ESPN fired Mike Dicker when he said that he supported Trump, that he was voting for Trump.
Okay.
That's not why they fired him. He said something about Barack Obama. Said something sideways about him. That's why they fired him.
Yep.
Also, he didn't. It wasn't because he said he was voting for Trump.
How do we tie that to Jemele Hill, though? I'm lost.
It's just like they fired what's the ex Red Sox pitcher, Curt Schilling.
Yeah.
Because he making them wisecracks about transgender people. Now they talking about people. All Jemele Hill said was that Donald Trump was a racist, which is true. She's not talking about the man. She ain't call him out his name. So what the hell she got to apologize for?
Yeah, and like I said, to me, all this being unpolitically correct and all this kind of stuff. If we have a president of the United States who carry on like that, you can't. People can't get in trouble for that no more. To me, until we have a new president, we have to be able to say this is the new way of life. There's no such thing for correctness. There's no such thing as you can't say that. You can't. He ran on grab her by the pussy.
Exactly.
He won an election by saying can grab a woman by the pussy.
For real.
So there's no such thing as someone getting in trouble for what they say. I don't care if we agree with it or not.
Can I ask you a question?
No one's getting in trouble for that no more.
Listen, let me ask you this, because please, listeners, do not write in that I am a Trump supporter. Please don't. That's not where this is going.
Oh.
But I do got a question.
Be careful.
Let's say this is a court of law. Trump stands accused of being a racist. What is the immediate hardcore evidence that he's a racist?
That he's a racist, that he kicked all them black people out of that apartment building, him and his daddy.
Yep.
But how is that?
They didn't want to rent to them.
Yep, and here you go. Now I'll give you one even better.
Is that evidence though?
The Muslim.
That's evidence. He got sued for it.
Mexican judge. He can't do his job because he's Mexican, and he wasn't even Mexican.
The man want to build a wall to keep Mexicans out of the United States.
He said
that's racist as hell.
The judge can't do his job because he's Mexican. Let's just leave it at that.
Or the Mexican thing, you can spin that.
No, you can't spin that one.
Racism. His father, wasn't he arrested at like a Klan rally in like New York?
That's what they say. I haven't been able to vet that.
I'm just saying, like you asked. I mean, you know, it's hearsay, sure, but if somebody,
that's what I mean. If
somebody for 20 years, you a crackhead. I mean, if the rumor lasts that long.
The fact
look at what he did to Obama. With the
everybody running around saying that Puffy's gay. Can we prove that he's gay?
Well, you can.
Catch him in the bed with a man.
You can.
That's all I'm saying. Like, we say a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, but you can.
I'm not defending this motherfucker. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying.
Trump there's plenty of things out there that Trump done put out there.
Look. Stop it. I just told you. The man went on news and said that a Mexican judge can't do his job because he's building a wall against for dividing America and Mexico. That's it. He said that.
But what his supporters will say is that he's just talking about illegal immigration. That's all.
Okay, what about Obama and the birtherism? What about Obama and the birtherism?
Listen to what he's doing.
Questions about that nigga if he was from there.
Joe, don't go there with Roland. This is a fact. What he said. He said that on TV, a Mexican judge can't do his job because he's Mexican. That's enough.
But that's like me saying, to me, that's like me saying, if I'm going after somebody black, CB, you can't really chime in because you black. Like, you're gonna.
Okay, that's racist. That's racist. Whatever you want to say, that's racist.
All the time about whiteys.
We're not president. I can't run for president. See, this is what happened with the pastor thing, dog. This is what happened.
Yeah, I'm peeping him out. I can't believe he's trying to defend Trump.
I'm not defending this motherfucker. I just said.
Yeah. Hey, you ever heard that?
Hey, Roland Whitlock.
No,
we got Roland Whitlock on here.
No, don't start that shit. This is in my defense. This is what the fuck.
Watch your mouth. You can't be on here talking about you all in the Bible, then you flipping all in the mouth like that. You control yourself, young man.
This is what you and Said do to me every time I come with a kill yourself and start over. Y'all sit there and nitpick the shit out of me. So all I was doing was saying, if you gonna say some shit, come with the facts.
So you calling me a bully?
Might not know.
Okay, but Roland. I just told you, forget the birtherism stuff, forget all the conspiracies. The man went on the news and said that a Mexican judge cannot do his job because he's Mexican. So that's it. That's
all these racist comments and tweets and all the shit that he done. You don't think that's enough to?
Let's just ignore the whole Muslim thing. This is all the conspiracies. Let's go by what this man said. That's enough. If he feels
all I'm saying is, just like any news, his statements actually can be spun. That's all I'm saying.
Everything can be spun.
That's what I'm saying. So
you can't spin that.
In Jemele Hill's situation, when she makes that statement, sitting on SportsCenter in a position like that, she technically, per probably her contract, can't make statements like that. That's where we're going with this.
She was on Twitter. And let me correct what I said.
But I'm gonna say this though, and you know I don't like Trump ass.
Right,
period.
she called him a white supremacist. See what I'm saying? You got to listen to what she actually said. So she called him.
You can't tell me Donald Trump ain't a white supremacist.
Man, I'm sure he is. But what I'm saying is, does Jemele Hill have a right to go to her Twitter and say that? Working for ESPN.
She has a right to do it. You make a decision and you stand on it. Yes. Now you got to be willing to deal with the consequences that follow.
Free speech.
There you now, dog. Now you didn't say something. That's what I'm talking about, because that's exactly where Colin Kaepernick is at right now. He had a right to do what he did, and now he got to deal with the consequences of it.
Well, Jemele Hill, if you get fired, we got a spot for you on Inside the Cave.
I don't know. I think we only allow one woman on the show. You trying to get rid of Cat?
Well, yeah. What are you saying?
All right. Let's move on. All right.
Because we know he ain't gonna edit it out.
Hey, Cat, who you got, Cat?
I usually don't have anybody, but the young man who was hanged.
Yeah, I heard about that.
The little boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently a biracial child was with another child, a younger child than him. And this Caucasian child put a rope around this child's neck. And it's just it's unfortunate that there's so much happening. Hurricanes and our president, we're debating whether our president is racist or not.
You're right.
Underneath all of that, there are real everyday issues that even now, biracial children are under attack from other children. And from what was understood, the young man who was 14 that did this expressed, he was just a joke. He was just playing. And, this is not the only story in the news involving a young person. So my Kill Yourself and Start Over is really for people who are forgetting about the babies. There are young people that, still are looking up to us, and we should be very aware of how we and what we say and how we behave. And I think we forget that. And I think social media is very good on giving us like an alternate world to live in. So we can be opinionated. We can be offensive. We can be that. But then when we turn it off, we have people that are watching our behaviors and listening to the phrases that we use frequently. So, this is another example of a sad tale that kind of got not swept under the rug. It's been discussed, but it's happening. That kids are playing with ropes around other kids' necks, and we have to be aware and conscious that this is still happening in our world today. So that's my Kill Yourself and Start Over.
Great point.
But before you move on, Steve, I want to add just a little something to that. That Kill Yourself and Start Over also need to be directed to some of the parents.
That's what I was about to say, the parents.
Kids are being taught this bullshit, and if you're not teaching it to them, you're doing it to where they can observe you when you act in that manner.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So at some point, man, when a child acts like that, you need to start looking at the parent to see what kind of shit they into.
Yeah,
that's true. Yep.
Because if that parent is not teaching that or living that lifestyle, that parent's gonna be pissed off and trying to find out where their kid's getting it from.
Exactly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
I guess I'll see you next
The question of the day.
I want to know from a 19-year-old girl. Everybody's talking about what is that 19-year-old girl doing there and all this kind of stuff. Can you tell me, because I can tell you what a 19-year-old boy is thinking at that age. He's thinking the same thing that a 29-year-old man is thinking, a 39-year-old man. We're the same. And I just want to know, could you talk from a 19-year-old girl's perspective, going to a club, going to a party, hanging out, and just tell me from the thought of because you were there before. Because sometimes I feel like how could teenage girls be so naive? But I don't want to be in the victim blaming. So I just want to know,
I'm glad you followed it up with that last thing, because to tie in what Big Dog said, it's also about the parent. At 19, and I remember clearly it might have been my 18th birthday, but my mother rented me a hotel suite. So I had bedrooms and everything. However, my mother was next door and my cousins were there and we were drinking. I wasn't 21. My mother knew I wasn't 21. We were drinking. We were having a good time. But the difference, I think, for me and children these days, I had somewhere to go. I had a parent who supported what I wanted to do. If I wanted to have a party, she would take her Saturday night, her weekend, and be in the room next door. And my friends knew that. So I didn't have friends that were doing things that my mother couldn't know about because my mom was right next door. So one thing when I saw the video, that especially the most recent one where it showed everyone sitting in this small hotel room, these kids want to kick it. At 19, I want to kick it too. And that's the innocent part about this, CB. That's the innocent part. Kids wanting to hang out at a party, that's innocent. That's what 19-year-olds are supposed to do. What I'm more angry about, and I'm literally angry with this, is the fact that we're not talking about rape yet again in the African American community. We're not talking about sexualizing things as Black people. Why our children feel like sex is a part of the entertainment of a party. That's our fault. As adults, as the parents. I have a 19-year-old son. And is he having a party at a hotel? Hell to the no. He's having a party at his house with the friends that come over that his mother knows. I know their parents. I'm an involved mom. He's not just popping up with random chicks. It's not that type of party because I'm involved. And so I do understand this mother is grieving. Oh, I can't, y'all, it breaks my heart because they just kids. But we're not addressing the issues that our sons expect sex. Our daughters want to give it. That's the big issue. If you want to talk to me about this girl who's in a freezer, want to talk to me about that? Let's talk for real. Let's talk about our kids don't have anywhere to go to party. We're not watching our children. 19 is still a kid, and we're not there.
See, the problem is that I think the problem was that she told her mother one thing and went and did something different.
That's what every teenage girl.
Okay, I understand that. I'm not, and listen to what I'm saying. Hold on a second.
I was at a hotel party at 18 and told my mother I was somewhere else. But was I concerned about getting raped? No.
Right, but nobody knows how old the people were in that, and the guys were in that room because we didn't see the guys in the video.
We are not encouraging relationships. We encouraging kicking it.
Okay, I ain't saying nothing about that. I'm talking about nobody knows how old the guys were in that video.
Exactly. So we have to teach our.
It could have been older guys in that, and it looked like the girl that who was taping it was a little older herself.
Hey, hold on.
You leave the part.
Okay.
You teach your kids that. You teach your children to avoid danger.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she didn't think she was in danger. She was with her friend.
A recent story that happened to a friend. His daughter was at a concert, and I'm not going to say which concert. I'll just say that the rapper on stage, because she's a gorgeous girl. He saw her, and he says, yeah, come back to the tour bus. He picked some girls out of the audience. No one in there is over 21, not even the rapper on stage. He picked some girls out of the audience. She gets on this tour bus because she's thinking she's about to get a picture with her favorite rapper. The bus takes off. The bus is now going from the suburbs to the city. She's like, wait a minute, what are you doing?
That's bad parenting.
Now the weed smoke is coming out. Now everybody's drinking. She's freaking out. So what does she do? She goes, wait a minute, what's going on? They don't like her anymore now because she's lame. So they immediately, wait a minute, they pull over on the expressway. They let this girl out on the highway.
That's fucked up.
Exactly.
It's fucked up.
The move showed a reflection of how she was raised, of the person. Her father would not have stood for any behavior that was not acceptable.
Right.
It's kind of two ways to look at that, though, Kat.
She got out of that bus. Despite the embarrassment, they're laughing at her. She gets off on the highway and finds her way to a gas station to go home. We have to teach our kids, and we have to give them some place to safely be.
I know, but that's why I originally asked you the question about a 19-year-old girl, because I want to know, because it's got to be a fine line between telling teenage girls that niggas ain't shit to the point to where you want to say.
I know where you're going. I don't mean to cut you off because we've been talking over each other. You know, me and Roland kind of touched on this a few episodes back when I talked about preparing your kids for the real world. Mm-hmm. A lot of females are naive if they think that most guys are just doing something just to be nice at that age.
There's no such thing.
If you go if you meet up with a guy, you're a young lady, and you hang out a few times, in your mind, you're in a relationship. In his mind, you just kicking it or you'll jump off or whatever. You see what I'm saying? This assuming and being naive and thinking that people have good intentions just to do something nice for you is bullshit. And as a parent, you need to, if you're a man and you've been out there yourself and you know how you thought when you was at that age, if you don't tell your daughter what you really expect when she's out there hanging out, then you're failing your child as a dad.
You ain't shit.
I just want to be.
You ain't shit as a father.
Shaming. I don't want us to shame the victim.
Nobody's victim
We're
shaming.
not talking about shaming. We're just saying that a lot of young girls are naive. They go out thinking that guys are just going to be nice and do things for them and don't expect anything.
Are you teaching your son to be nice to girls?
Repeat that, Kat.
Yes, we are, Kat. But you got to understand, this is what I'm trying to say, is that boys at the age of 19 think like the boys at men at the age of 29. That adrenaline, that I'm not making an excuse for it, because I look back at some of the decisions and things and thoughts that I made at that age, like what the hell. But that's what I'm trying to say. You have to prepare. I want to know, what do these teenage girls be thinking? Because I would tell my daughter right away, look, don't nothing happen good after 7:00 p.m. on Saturday, Friday night, Sunday night. Hell, anytime. Don't nothing good happen. A boy only wants one thing, and after he gets that from you, he's trying to get it from your friend. That's it. I mean, that's facts.
I think, where I think Kat is going is a place that we definitely have to visit. The problem is that to me, it's not relevant for where we're at today. We already have a problem with young men, even dealing with young men. Most of them are being raised by nobody, or they're being raised by a single mother. Okay. So if the men are struggling with emotional problems, what do you think the boys are doing? So that goes without saying.
Well, hold on one second, Roland, before you finish that, because you got a lot of single fathers out there raising kids now.
I understand.
So that little, how about we just say single? Hey, bro, I was in the same boat, bro.
I'm a single father too. I was a single father.
I was too before I got married. So what I'm saying is,
the point is, but listen though,
just say look here, single parenting period.
Okay, single parent. Single parent. I got you. Nonetheless, we're still failing our boys. Matter of fact, how about this? Even if they got a mother and father at home, we're failing them. The point is that we're failing them, right?
Right.
Here's the immediate issue, right? I think that this situation can allow us to address the immediate issue. You guys keep making it about these boys. It ain't about these boys. Because just like CB said, boys are going to be boys. Now, whether the truth comes out that she was raped and murdered, or she just got murdered, it might not even have nothing to do with them boys.
Or it could have been completely consensual sex.
That's where I'm going, Kat, is that girls want to have sex too. So the issue's not necessarily about, I'm not saying that rape's not an issue, but all I'm saying is, to me, at the core of this problem, it ain't even on the mother. It's on the mother that she should have taught her better to make better decisions. But at the end of the day, young ladies need to know from somebody, that you have to be able to trust your crew and you have to put yourself in good situations. It was a bad situation from the gate. When they was in that
know what was going on or what was happening at that party?
Stop shaming that girl for wanting to have a good time.
You missing what I'm, Cat?
You'll not allow it anymore. Stop it.
You missing what I'm saying, Cat?
Party.
I have 2 daughters, Cat.
Exactly, and you're teaching your daughters not to be a person to avoid a nigga because he looked crazy. You're teaching your daughters a good decision.
If you would let me finish, I'm not even talking about the boys.
The boys.
Listen, no point.
It's our issue. The issue is, can they go to kick it that we can watch too?
Cat, you missing the point.
No, you're missing the point because the whole thing is
comments when it ain't about the boys. I just prefaced my comments what it ain't about the boys, honey. It's about those girls. It's about those.
And my thing to you is get off of that because it's not the girls either. It's everybody. Don't just put it on the girl. The girl wound up in the freezer.
I didn't say the girl.
It was not the boy. It's a situation like happens in a lot of times in our city where we don't have anywhere for them to go. So now they outside shooting. We don't have anywhere for them to go. Now they ending up in freezers. Okay. As moms, as dads, our children have to be able to come to us. We should know their friends. They can come in. We can be parents. It takes a village. We all supposed to be helping each other out. I'm a single mother.
Okay, but we're not. But we're not.
Cat, you gotta let Roland talk. Hold on a second.
Raped. You're not gonna put it on the boys.
We don't even know if the girl was raped. Cat, I just prefaced my comment with we're not talking about the boys and we're not talking about rape. If you let me get where I'm going, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I didn't try to shame that young lady.
It's all right. You can be passionate, but I will. I'm listening too while you telling everybody you talk that you can listen. I listen very well. And all I'm getting to is the point you're making is moot because the girl ain't here and we got to pick up and move forward. It doesn't matter whose fault. What we know is.
I wasn't trying to get forward. I wasn't trying to get forward. What I'm saying is that okay, let's do this. Let's say it's a boy that's dead. Let's not even use girls. Let's say it's 20 guys in that room and it ain't about sex. And there's a 19-year-old boy hanging out with a bunch of 25-year-old men or young men. And those guys are in there with drugs and guns. All I'm saying is that when they went there to kick it, and this situation started to get out of hand, somebody has to be the responsible person that says, this ain't right, we need to go.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
I'm not trying to shame a victim. My heart has been bleeding for that young lady since Sunday. I've been 3 a.m. having conversations with my wife about this very subject. That's the last thing I'm doing. I have a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Most of our teenagers.
You ain't got to prove your point, Roland. That's a good point.
That's all I'm saying too. As parents, we are the responsible adults. So we have to get involved and know what's happening with our children. That's exactly
true.
What I'm.
But that's not where we're at today. So what I'm saying is that the immediate need to me is at least teaching the decision maker, meaning the person that's in the situation, to know your surroundings, know who you came with, and make better decisions. That's all. That's the only place I was getting, is that, like you said, moving forward, we can't make parents be better tomorrow, right? We can't make young boys get raised better tomorrow, right? We can't make parents be together and be in a family structure tomorrow, right? Exactly. So what we have to do is...
I disagree. I'm a teacher. So my job is to make tomorrow better. That's my job every time I get up, is to make a better.
What grade do you teach?
My job, my decision is based on better.
What grade do you teach?
We tell a parent, if we reach out to our friends immediately and say, hey guys, let's hold a party for the teens. Let's do something for the kids. That's one thing we could do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we got to change mindsets. I'm saying let's everybody collaborate. We all got teenage kids. Why they don't kick it?
Yeah,
That's true.
We're gonna move on now. I do want to say this, that I think the responsibility is on us to teach kids, boys and girls, that of situations when it looks like it could be heading wrong, how to leave, how to properly leave,
exactly.
how to tell their friends.
And the only problem with that is the fact that she was in there with some other people who looked older than her, and if they didn't want her to leave, she wasn't gonna leave. That's the problem.
And we don't know if she tried to leave. So you're right. It's all moot because there's still many facts that we don't know. All I was trying to do is just kind of look at one aspect of it, because there's a lot of wrong that goes around in all of this. And
I understand what you're saying, but sometimes you go and do things and you in a bad situation, not because of what you've done, but because of the people around you. You understand?
You know what, man?
That's what I mean by know your friends. But that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes you don't see it coming.
I remember being told as a kid, if you're going somewhere and you tell me that you're going somewhere, you need to go where you're telling me that you're going. Because 9 times out of 10, when you deviate from where you say you're going, something bad happens.
That's true.
Because more than likely, if you tell your parents you're going one place and you sneak off and do something totally different, 9 times out of 10, you're going somewhere that you shouldn't fucking be in the first place.
And you know what, Big Dog, that's a great point, because
if you were supposed to be there, you wouldn't be ashamed to tell your parents.
Colin Cowherd says it best. At the age of 15, I'm done raising you. Everything after that is about don't get into the wrong car, don't let the wrong person in your car, and don't go to the wrong places. If you can just avoid that could be the difference between life and death. And he said
that Kat brought up a good analogy though. She used the young lady that was at the concert who got on the tour bus. She had no intention on getting on that.
But see, Roland, let me stop you, Roland. See, the guys on here, we thinking like the moment Kat started telling the story, we already knew what was going to happen. And see, that's what I'm saying. How could nobody not tell this girl? That's our job as adults, to protect them. Nobody told this girl, when you go to a concert, there's nothing good is going to happen to you backstage.
But
nobody told you.
I met John Legend that way. I got a picture with John Legend that way. Like, it didn't turn out that way for me. It doesn't work.
There's always exceptions to the rules, but everybody's not like that.
And
it's never 100% though, Kat. You always gambling.
There's always a gamble. Nothing good happens backstage. Nowhere.
That's very true. And we also teach our children to take risks. We also teach our children not to be afraid. It's I don't want to get into like a parenting discussion, but I brought that story up to be an example that here's just a girl who was outside and she could have stayed on that bus and things could have happened to her that she never wanted to. And
exactly. She was smart enough to get off, and it didn't matter where she got off at.
And that was the point I wanted everybody to hear. That she made the unpopular choice. Did her friends stay on the bus? Like, all of these other factors are coming to play. But here's this guy saying, yeah, he's a rapper. He's on stage. He picked her out. Look at all that. Like, you can't blame her for saying, yeah, I want to get on the bus. She had no clue that the bus was about to pull off.
Yeah, but Kat, that's what I said earlier. You can't be naive like that.
That's where I was going, Big Dog. The point
Kat,
was,
let me tell you something.
Got off. She shouldn't have got on.
Nobody's saying that women shouldn't be allowed to go out and have fun and do whatever they want to do. I'm the last one to say that.
The rapper, we're all totally cool with him kidnapping, but we're not okay with her not making the better choice to not get on.
No, Kat, you're missing the point. Nobody said we was cool with him kidnapping her. He was all in the wrong. What I'm saying is she took a gamble.
That point, I know you're right, it's a gamble and we got to teach our girls, but what about the boys? We got to teach them too.
Everybody's accountable. That's what we're saying.
Got to hold them accountable.
Let's talk about an accountable adult who got a young girl on a bus.
That's what I said.
Accountable, and this is what I'm saying.
In his ad, he should have been charged with kidnapping.
It doesn't make it better. He was bogus, and I agree wholeheartedly with her.
He should have been charged for kidnapping. He should have been.
He should have been charged with kidnapping.
Oh, of course the other girl's father pursued 1 million charges, but he's got lawyers. So this slap on the wrist wasn't a slap on the wrist. But the whole point of the story is, like you said, every decision is a choice. And we wouldn't want for her to you know, every second of her life at a party, someone having a good time.
Kat, it depends on the type of party. Now, when you talk about partying, if you go into a party that you know that you should not be at.
Let's just really be careful about shaming someone who didn't mean for it to happen in the first place.
Kat, nobody never means for anything bad to happen to them.
Girl, exactly.
Right.
So if your son or daughter ends up in a situation, you're right. They shouldn't be there, but they are. And we have to teach them what to do to be able to uphold the integrity of your family.
But you still got to use that example to be able to teach the next kid that this whether we don't even know what happened, but let's just say that maybe she should have been there. Who knows? But what we're trying to make you understand is, Kat, that you got to recognize, you got to know your surroundings. If some shit don't look right, you need to leave.
All right, we got
or at least attempt to leave.
Got an opinion? Let your voice be heard. Want to change the direction of the show? Talk your shit. Tell us how you really feel.
I might just say how I feel.
Listeners' feedback with Cousin Lamar on Inside the Cave.
First up, we got Bonkeisha Jenkins. And she writes in, she says, CB's rant on mistresses versus side chicks. First off, let me say that shit is dumb as hell. I own a salon. I decided to play the show over the shop speakers so the ladies getting serviced and my employees could listen in. Damn, that was one long ass conversation after all that fucking ignorance CB said. CB, we have a few questions. Number one, what does the mistress get in return for buying you and your badass kids gifts? What benefits does she receive being the mistress who remembers your wife's birthday and your anniversary? Please, nigga, don't say the dick. No woman is gonna do all that shit for dick. Women get dick easily, no work required. A woman who's got your back like that loves your dumb ass. As unhealthy as it is, she has to be in love or you have to be rich as fuck. Lastly, most niggas wouldn't know a good quality mistress if she stared them in the face. Niggas on that Instagram booty side chick shit these days who spill all your tea first chance they get.
All I gotta say is thank you for somebody to send that long of an email in. If you got time like that and my segment moved you like that, and that was a very long email. All I'm gonna say is thank you. Kat, do you know the difference between a side chick and a mistress?
Not right now, CB. No, not right now.
No, the reason why, because this lady clearly didn't understand what I was doing. Okay.
No, CB, no.
Another one.
All right, go ahead, cuz.
All right. Next up, we got Cheryl. Cheryl writes in, she says, CB having a crush on Stephanie Mills was cute. Are you for real married? Wait, what? Why do you all call him International D? I can't believe you guys think it's acceptable for men to sleep around, but women have to be conservative with their sexuality. I feel bad for that young lady. Who was she? That wasn't Kat, because Kat would have defended us better, I think.
As you see by listening to today's show, you're right. Now that was Kayla. Kat fired Kayla. All right, go ahead, cuz.
Another one.
Next up, we got Lance. Lance writes in, he says, why Roland go off on Chicago like that during Kill Yourself and Start Over? Both of y'all right, though. This show was funny as hell. Greg Merriweather and the crew don't hold back any punches. I be laughing hard. It started quick with old boy not feeling that solar eclipse shit. The 1996 NBA Finals conspiracy might have some weight on it, bro. That's by far the best theory Roland came up with. Need to take that theory to a big stage. What happened to Big Dog, bro?
Big Dog is back. Let me say this. I know we said I wasn't going to respond, but Lance, all you got to do is keep sharing Inside the Cave, and we will become the big stage. So, hey, just keep sharing. Tell everybody. All right, go ahead.
Another one.
All right. Next up, we got Kelly. Kelly writes in and says, I always wondered why your female co-host wasn't on constantly. but seeing the way she was treated from the Best of Inside the Cave episode to the breast of Inside the Cave, I understand why.
Another one.
All right. Next up, we got Michelle. Michelle writes in, she says, what is CB talking about? Stacey Dash wants to sleep with Barack Obama. That makes no sense at all. And why would Roland try to make sense of that? Not a fan of race given today's climate. The white cussing versus black cussing was funny. Listening to Breast of Show just brings back bad memories I know I sent in feedback on the men's treatment toward Kat already. And it seems you all were just as bad to your other co-hosts too. No wonder she left.
She ain't leave, she got fired.
Dang.
Got fired.
Another one.
Right. Next up, we got Troy. Troy writes in, he says, not going to lie, the 1996 NBA Finals conspiracy was deep and actually made me look that up. But y'all really think Gary Payton was that good of a defender to change that series? I may be younger, but I remember Gary Payton getting crossed up by white chocolate. That guy ain't guarding Jordan. Breast of Inside the Cave is lit, bro. Cave court segment.
Yeah, can I touch on that? That's crazy. First of all, youngin, Jason Williams or White Chocolate crossed up a whole lot of people, and Gary Payton was.
I like he did Gary Payton though.
Yeah, he did. But Gary Payton was nicknamed the Glove, and if that's your evidence, AI crossed up Jordan. So man,
oh no, God! You always go so far to the man. I'm not going to have this conversation.
I just use it as an example.
That is a bad example because he did not cross up Jordan.
He did cross Mike.
He did.
He did the definition of crossover on Mike.
Yeah, okay. He crossed Mike over so hard that Jordan almost blocked his shot. Anyway, go ahead, cuz. I'm not doing this.
Whatever. He crossed Mike.
He crossed him.
No, he did.
Another one.
All right. Next up, we got Nina. Nina writes in saying, Black Lives Matter affecting the election was well thought out theory by Roland. And it seems like it's becoming more of a reality than just a theory. Listening to your breast of shows, my oh my has Inside the Cave changed over the years. Didn't really realize it listening week to week, but the addition of new characters, the show has really changed.
And let me chime in on that. Hey, listen, will y'all stop saying Roland when it comes to these theories? I can't take credit. They have been spawned from the sick, demented mind of CB, and I just put some.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
I don't want to take.
This is your segment. No, this is your segment.
He brings a subject, and then I dig into it, but I can't take total credit for that. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Another one.
All right, next up, we got Carol. Carol writes in, she says, you guys are actually right about Black Lives Matter. Where are they now, and what was their purpose? I wasn't sure about Roland at first, but he does great work, and his page program is newsworthy. Does he have a page for Facebook too? We'll be listening to his new show, Who Died and Made You, CB, a Comedian? Shaking my head.
I mean, Roland, he all right.
I will say this, is that I did have to start a new Facebook page because I shut mine down probably last year sometime because I didn't feel like I was getting the feedback that I was looking for. So I do have a new one. It doesn't have any followers yet. I just started it. It's going to be Cleese Report Podcast. And I will be advertising it on my IG page to kind of get people to join. So
another one.
All right, and then finally we got Miss Marche Marshall. She writes in saying, CB, please stop with the corny ass jokes. Rolades, really? I'm giving you a kill yourself and start over. Laugh out loud, another thing. So what? I got an AOL account. Laugh out loud.
Well, Miss Marche, you might as well said, CB, give me some more racially insensitive jokes because that's what I'm going to do for you since you said that. I got the feedback. I know everybody said it. So here you go. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
How can you tell when the Mexicans have moved into your neighborhood?
How can you tell when Mexicans have moved to your neighborhood?
The black people get insurance. All right, here you go. You probably heard this before.
Why don't black people listen to country music?
Why?
Because when they hear "Hold Down," they think their sister been shot.
You ain't shit.
Hey, one more, Joe. What would Martin Luther King be if he was white?
What?
Alive.
Probably president, wouldn't it?
Hey, here, hold on. I gotta give you this one, though. Hey, how do Asians name their kids?
How?
They throw them down a flight of stairs and see what sounds they make.
Oh,
hey,
you going to hell, right?
Hey, one more, Joe. Hey, Joe.
You ain't right.
Hey, Joe. A Chinese couple had a black baby. You know what they named him?
What they name him?
Something Wong. Oh, man. Hey, this guy right there. I'll tell you, I'm not a comedian, but I do like playing one on this podcast. That was funny shit to me.
Hey, man, you need to set your head down.
Hey, now, I do got some feedback for Kat. Kat, I got to tell you something, Kat. Now, somebody else sent this in anonymously. Well, I'll just tell you. Her name is Rochelle. She worked well. Anyway.
That nigga love giving up tapes,
Anyway.
don't he?
No, I gotta hear this, Kat. Kat, she says, how is Kat always talking about mental health, but don't see a woman that has mental health issues? She wasn't a thief. She was a kleptomaniac. Kat, that was about your jewel thief lady that you talked about last year. Remember that?
I'm sorry that I want to offer help and not offering it with the correct the term. Excuse me, my love. You're right. My bad. Kleptomaniac.
Yes, sir.
Thought-provoking ignorance with special guests and Cave Crush interviews. Inside the Cave. Now that's how you podcast.
Inside the Cave.
Are you enjoying this episode of Inside the Cave? Well, get your ass up and rate us on iTunes. Inside the Cave Podcast. 5-star us or kill yourself and start over.
Get the latest in cave fashion at cavecrushshop.com. That's cavecrushshop.com.
Follow Inside the Cave on Instagram at Inside the Cave and at Cave Crush for the hottest women on the planet. Like Inside the Cave on Facebook, Inside the Cave Podcast, and follow Inside the Cave on Twitter at Cave Crush. Inside the Cave. Thought-provoking ignorant guy talk with special guests and Cave Crush interviews. Uninterrupted, undisputed, and unedited. It's time to go around the cave.
I've been really giving this a whole lot of thought, and this Colin Kaepernick and Ray Lewis thing is really starting to bother me. I know that I've came at the crew with a little bit of sideways, trying to come at Colin a little bit to say, hey, listen, it ain't really going down the way y'all think it is. But I will say this, with all the attacks the young man has gotten from the black community on these talk shows and stuff, I'm really starting to get behind this dude, man. This is really starting to be almost like a conspiracy. It's almost like they have gotten marching orders where they keep lining black guy after black guy after black guy to talk negatively about him kneeling for the flag. And I'm like, I can see white folks trying to misdirect the whole police brutality and black men getting killed or people of color getting killed. But for black people to do it, it just blows my mind. Ray Lewis has stood against this man at every turn and then tries to make us, he goes on NFL Network. That was what my Kill Yourself and Start Over was going to be. He goes on the NFL Network and sits on the panel with himself, another brother, which is James Brown, 2 white quarterbacks, and a freaking white woman. And the white woman is the only one that gets it right. How is they not singling this guy out?
Usually women are the only ones that get it right. I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but you're right.
Say again?
No, you're right. Usually women are usually people who only get it right. But you're right. I'm sorry about that. No interrupt.
I mean, but I'm really starting to come around on this thing and starting to say, guys, y'all really got to look at this. You got to look at the attack. They line up black man after black man after black man. They can't be doing it on their own. They have to be getting marching orders. That's my Around the Cave.
All right, Lamar, who you got? Or what you got?
Damn, y'all went way too deep, man. I was actually listening to a song. You know, I was on Spotify a lot and go to the R&B section. And K. Michelle got this new song out. And I figured being, Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, everybody check out this song. It's called Birthday. The lyrics to the song, man, K. Michelle, I was already a fan. But I'm going to just read a couple lines. All right, so the song is titled Birthday. In the first 3 lines, she'd say, it's your birthday, baby, what you want to do? I got some bitches, got some pretty bitches coming through. Oh. No, I said I never do it, but I guess I lie. Roll a L, fuck it, let's get high. That's the intro to the song.
Okay.
Listen to the song, man.
That's by K. Michelle?
That's K. Michelle. I'm like, normally
go listen to that.
Yeah,
I'm listening to that tonight.
Man, she only on like, she loved country. So when she made this, man, she had my head spinning. I've listened to the damn song all day. I'm like, shit, she giving me some ideas. But yeah, that's my Around the Cave. K. Michelle, good job. Job well done.
That boy Lamar, Big Dog. Can we make that a country rap tune one of these weeks? Jeez. All right, what you got, dog?
Hey man, I was gonna go somewhere, but I'm gonna pass on it.
Joe.
All right, check this out. This got some along, according to do with the girl Kanika Jenkins, and it's more so like, we always ready to march or ready to do something when somebody of another race do something to black people, but we have a problem with doing things to ourselves. Not that it would be any less heinous if somebody white would have did this to her, but you got to understand that these are other black people that's doing this. There's something wrong. We can't keep doing shit to ourselves then looking for, looking for something else in return. You know what I mean? I mean, we can't keep doing shit to ourselves and then looking to go out and find some silver line in here. White people ain't gonna help us out. We gotta help ourselves out. We can't keep fucking ourselves up here. I mean, I had a better way of putting it earlier before I was less tired. But I'm just saying, we gotta stop doing shit to ourselves.
That's a great point. All right, Kat.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm gonna share and be a little candid, because it kind of ties into my message today, apparently, and that's about parents. Something significant happened. My son moved to Los Angeles, and I really didn't realize how much I depended on him until he left, until it was time for him to go.
Yeah.
I have a younger daughter, and the reality hit me so hard about maybe 3 weeks ago. Who's gonna watch my daughter? Who's gonna pick her up from school? Who's gonna make sure she does her homework? Because I could hire anybody to make sure she do what she's supposed to do, but I don't trust everybody. It just overwhelmed me so much, y'all, that I had to make a choice. And that choice was, do I keep working and taking care of other people's children? Or do I step out on a belief that I can do it and just quit my job? And it was a lot of decisions. It was a lot of back and forth. I had a lot of friends that were like, girl, I got you, but I love them, but do they really? My daughter missed 2 days, 3 days of school the entire school year last year. And those 3 were excused absences. Who's gonna make sure she gets to school every day? Who's gonna make sure when she gets home? And honestly, y'all, I tried it. I tried everything. I tried to convince my 9-year-old to stay home just a little while by herself until I got off work. And how much can I ask a little girl to do? You know, like, it was a very difficult decision, but I resigned. And I haven't been on the show because I've been hustling, y'all. Everything I can do. I work well with children, so I've been working. Whenever they call, I go, because I don't want my daughter to be dead in a freezer.
Amen.
So every choice that I make for my children, I could care less about buying a purse, getting my hair done. Are you serious? Are you serious? I haven't been to a salon in a year. Why? Because I love my daughter. So I quit my job. And no, I don't got food stamps coming in. I'm working. While she's in school, I work my ass off. And then I pick her up and I make her dinner. And you all see me do it. So when I'm talking about parents, it's the tough decisions we make. It's the stuff we don't want to do that makes us better parents. And if we want our children to just be kids, to party in a hotel, then some choices we gotta make gotta be sacrifices. Sometimes we gotta say, you know what, forget what I need, because I gotta do it for my kid. So that's my Around the Cave. That's it.
Atta girl, Cat. Let me start mine off by saying, first of all, happy birthday to Cat, to our beautiful co-host Cat.
Make sure. Don't forget the kittens. Happy birthday to the kittens too.
All right. And also, I want to first let me touch on this real quick before I get into mine. Ted Cruz got caught. For those who know Ted Cruz, he's a senator out of Texas. Donald Trump infamously named him Lion Ted Cruz. He's a Republican, and he got caught on Twitter liking porn. That's right. The good old boy Republican got caught on Twitter liking porn. So you could put him in the same category as Roger Ailes, Bill O'Reilly, Eric Bolling.
Said he got hacked.
Oh, yeah. You can't hack. You can't.
You said it was an accident.
You can't hack a verified account, brother. Okay. My account.
But you can accidentally like some shit.
How are you looking at it? Okay.
That's what fact.
Can I ask?
He likes some shit that he was watching.
This is.
Hey, there was anything wrong with that.
Hey, this is. No. You can't ask a question.
You know what though? He did own that though. He owned up to it though.
Wait a minute. This is Around the Cave. No interruptions. Hey.
Oh, this is your.
You interrupt all the time.
Your Around the Cave thing. Come on, man.
This is my Around the Cave. I'm talking.
You don't get two.
I'm talking.
I didn't know this was your Around the Cave.
Okay, yeah, that was a comma.
You said I'm gonna get into this before I get to my Around the Cave.
No, comma.
That was a comma.
You got 1 minute.
Yeah. Well, you guys took up my 1 minute. I just want to say this.
Let's move on to the next segment then.
Let's move on.
Well, I'm not. Oh no. I just want to break news real quick for my Around the Cave that you can. Hey, you heard it here first. LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony will be teammates. Not next year, but the year after. Not this season coming up, but next season. I have a source, and I have been doing research. You can put it on the board. LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony will be teammates. And the reason why I'm saying that is because even if they are teammates, it doesn't matter. You will not beat the Golden State Warriors. You know, general managers in the NBA, I see everybody, I wish Herb was here. I see all these ESPN pundits and all these news guys. They're all talking about, that guy from Oklahoma City, he had Harden, Durant, and Westbrook, and he couldn't win. Man, that guy should have been fired. Who was the first guy? I've been saying that since we started this podcast, that guy is a mark. If you have all three of those guys and you can't win, that's a you problem. You should be fired, and you lost all of them. Life is not about what you had in life. Life is about what you're able to keep and maintain. And you couldn't keep those three guys, and they wanted to stay together. That is a you problem. But that leads me to these other general managers. Now everybody in the NBA is talking about, we need to spread the floor. We need to shoot threes. Big man need to be able to shoot threes. You know what you guys are? You guys are a bunch of marks. You know what you guys are? You guys are the ones that created guys like Harold Miner. That's right. You know how you guys don't know, for those who don't know who Harold Miner is, he was called Baby Jordan because he had a bald head and he could dunk. And some dumbass general manager for the Miami Heat drafted him because they said, we got to find a guy that can guard Michael Jordan. So they drafted Harold Miner. That's how Harold Miner got in the league. Do not copy off of Golden State's identity. That is their identity. They spread the floor. They shoot the three. Everybody can't do that. You know what else you guys are like? You like RC Cola. Remember RC Cola? They tried to be Coke. There's only one Coke, brother. You can't any imitation. Your RC Cola. Your Red Pop. Remember Red Pop that you buy from Omni and Aldi's? Your Red Pop. Get out of here. Get your own identity and try to make something of yourself and stop trying to be like the other team. You can't do that.
Yeah, stop trying to be like Colin Cowherd.
And that is Around the Cave.
You want answers? Cleese Report.
I want the truth.
The Cleese Report with Roland on Inside the Cave.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, Roland, this is all you this week, brother. I'm not stepping in. We ain't got too much time anyway, so go ahead. What are we talking about this week?
Since 9/11 has passed, we're going to touch on, I don't think it's a conspiracy, but we'll call it conspiracy just for the sake of people who still don't believe. And we're talking about the Pentagon, okay? So we had an event that happened where 4 planes were taken, 2 hit the supposedly hit the World Trade Center towers 1 and 2, and also Building 7 fell. 1 was crashed in Pennsylvania, and 1 supposedly ran into the side of the Pentagon, right? So for all you marks, as CB always says, who still believe that this plane magically went into this small hole, I just want to tell you that if you just do 5 minutes of research, you don't have to go on YouTube. You don't have to look at some crazy guy's page like mine that's wearing a tinfoil hat, sitting in the room with the door locked, watching his back. All you have to do is read legitimate journalists. There's a guy, a CNN reporter, who reported on this as it happened. He said a plane did not hit the Pentagon. That is not a conspiracy. That is a fact. You can bank on it. And that's a wrap.
Wait a minute. That's it?
That's it. That's all. We ain't got time for nothing else.
All right. I got a couple questions, but you guys got anything on that?
Nah, he about summed it up.
You know, the reason why I feel it's a conspiracy.
Well, shoot your question.
Well, the reason why I feel it's a conspiracy, I'll never forget this. I've been into politics long before it even mattered in my life, and I always watched CNN and Fox. I remember right when I can almost pinpoint the day after George Bush was officially nominated as president. Now you got to remember, he had that whole ballots in the ocean and stuff like that. So he really didn't become officially the presidential elect until December. Almost deja vu to 2016. Can you believe that? But
well,
let me finish.
Well, don't forget the hanging chads in Florida.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They found ballots in the ocean and stuff like that. But so it took like time before actually Vice President Gore, the candidate, before they just said, look, it's over with, the election's over with, Bush won and stuff like that. The day after that happened in Congress, the day after that, on CNN, George H.W. Bush, Bush's daddy, flew over to the Middle East. The day after, this was December of 2000, they showed him. I'm thinking like, and I remember him being a kid in the whole Iraq war. I'm like, oh, wait, what is he doing over there? I never forget that. And I don't know why that's always implemented in my mind. Why was Bush's daddy over in Iraq in December of 2000? They never said what he was over there for. Then a year later, 9/11 happens. I mean, I know it had been put together way before then, but I don't know. That's the reason why this week being 9/11 week, That's the reason why I wanted to roll into talk about that.
Well, if you want to bring it a little bit more wide, I thought this was more about the Pentagon. Well, see, I think where the conspiracy comes in at is actually Building 7, the one that didn't get hit by anything, the one that they actually demolished on purpose. Even if you believe the whole story about the planes and whatever, they took that opportunity. There was a federal investigation going on, and I can't remember what that investigation was called, but the documents for this investigation were in the Pentagon, but they were also on, I believe it was the 11th floor of the World Trade Center, Building 7. So the conspiracy is that they started this event in order to destroy the documents that was in this big money investigation, that they were looking for this missing money. And they had all the files and stuff like that. So they had to get rid of that. And the way they did it, because I don't like to really get into these things, especially with people who are from big cities, from New York. Oh, I had a friend that died in the tower and this, that, and the other, or if there was firefighters who you may have been. I don't want to devalue their life. We know them towers came down. That was a real event. The problem is why. And I always say this, when you create a timeline, the timeline has to make sense. When you look at the events of your life over the last 5 years, there's certain bullet points that you can point to. So when we look at a story, right? Let's say there was really planes that hit the World Trade Center. Let's say that they really fell because the planes hit them. There's no way to explain why Building 7 fell. There's no rhyme or reason. There's not no piece of evidence. There's not an excuse that they can give of why Building 7 fell.
Let me say this though, and I agree with everything you said. But in Chicago, if what are they calling Sears Tower now? What are they calling Sears? What are they calling? I don't even know what the name of it is. I still call it the Sears Tower. But anyway, I was told if the Sears Tower was to fall down, 100 buildings are coming down with it. That's, I mean, if not more. They said basically all of downtown is coming down with it, collapsing with it. That's how big Sears Tower is. What are they calling the Sears Tower now? I have no idea. What is it? Anybody know what they call the Sears Tower now? No. Willis Tower?
Yeah. But why?
It's still the Willis Tower.
Okay.
Why do they say that, CD? Why do they say that?
Well, first of all, it's the biggest building, I think, still in the world, at least number 3.
It's number 2.
Number 2. So if it comes down, I'm assuming the impact of that fucking building coming down will bring everything down with it too. That's what someone told me.
That's where you're wrong, because in 100 years,
it'll be like an earthquake.
No, but that's not true. The way to talk now we're going to get into the conspiracy, okay? Because planes, even if I agree that the plane hit the tower, the plane is not what brought the tower down. There's proof, there's video proof that explosions are happening inside the tower. If you know anything about the World Trade Center tower, they both were what they call white dinosaurs. White elephants. White dinosaurs. They were not profitable anymore. Both of the buildings were basically half empty. They had whole floors empty. The rent was too high. It was outdated. They had to remove all the asbestos off the beams because we found out asbestos is killing people, whatever. Yeah. What they did is when you prep a building, and I knew this before I even heard about. Even before 9/11 happened, I knew this because I watched a lot of Discovery Channel, History Channel, stuff like that. I watched buildings come down. And what these skilled dudes do is they can no matter how big the building is, they can bring a building down within its own footprint. Both of those buildings did that on the same day. And in the history of steel frame buildings has a building ever failed because of fire. And they're trying to say that the jet fuel was so hot it melted the beams, but it would not have failed at free fall speed. And what that means is that for every foot that the building's falling, it takes 10 seconds to, for it to, so as each floor fell, it would get slower and slower and slower because of the momentum is stopping, because once that falls again, it hits another floor. It all dropped into its own footprint. Same thing with Building 7. It showed the classic crimp where the middle of the building, they take the columns out in the middle and it makes the building fall on itself. They do it with stadiums. How many times have you watched this? Just Google search stadium implosions or stadium demolition. It's all done the same way. You blow you blow in a certain succession, each inner column in the building falls on itself. And all you got to do is clean it up. It does not disturb any of the buildings. Only thing they'll do is, because they've done this in busy cities, where they'll put up a shield of padding if a building next to it has a lot of glass. But they don't have to do anything other than that, than to build a wood wall around where they want the thing to fall in, and that's it. And all 3 buildings came down that way. All right. And I just, like I said, I don't even like to call it a conspiracy. If you're still believing that Osama bin Laden orchestrated this shit, then shame on you. Shit's just factual. It ain't even a conspiracy no more. Like, you don't have to have a tinfoil hat to know that somebody's lying. Something ain't right in the buttermilk, as my friends down south would say.
Dog, that's what you say? Something ain't right in the buttermilk?
I don't know what the fuck Roland talking about.
Right. That was
You're making a good point though, Roland.
Hey, that was this week's Cleves Report with Roland. Email us insidethecavepodcast@gmail.com. Or if you want to email Roland directly or go to his page directly, it's the Cleves Report on Instagram. Roland, you want to give an email address?
Yeah, the Cleves Report Podcast @gmail.com. Matter of fact, what I'm doing is that for all my Inside the Cave listeners that want to drop me a topic to talk about, I'm taking my first 5 episodes, topics from Inside the Cave. Do it just like, if you want to be like CB, which I'm sure nobody wants to be, send me a topic to talk about, and I'll address it on Inside the Cave on the Cleves Report Podcast.
Coming soon.
Follow Inside the Cave on Instagram for more thought-provoking ignorance. We repost, you decide. Now you feeling freer than you ever. Let's take a trip to the South.
Hip-hop. Down south.
With Big Dog's country rap tune of the week. Reppin' the A, shawty.
Check it out.
Let's go.
Every time I go out, you know I got to show out. Every time I go out, you know I got to show out.
Smoke some, bitch.
Every time I go out, you know I got to show out. Every time I go out, you know I got to show out.
Light green, northern lights, getting sucked in the midnight. Blue jag, white rag, candy car, kryptonite. I be proing, I keep these bitches hoeing on a date. Straight up, pimp, if you want some, you can find me in the H.
Big Dogs Country Rap
Bobby by the pine, with that by the key. Bitch, my dick was never free. Know I want to rap or say it cold.
It's your boy Big Dog, and I'm going Inside the Cave with Big Dog's country rap tune.
Inside the Cave.
The bitches won't sick, but all I'm fucking with is chicks. I'm smoking out, going up, whipping my DeVille, took out the airbag, put in a wood wheel.
Big Dog with the country rap tune. Turn it up.
All right, that was Big Dog's country rap tune of the week. Let's get into this. The long-awaited return of Cat's Corner.
Need some advice? Talk to the only woman allowed inside the cave. It's time for Cat's Corner.
Cuz, you got the email?
Yep.
All right, we got it.
All right. You ready? You ready for it?
Yeah.
All right. So, Kathy writes saying, she says, I'm starting to get tired of my small-minded husband. That's the title. She says, my husband and I have been together for over 12 years with three children. 2 of our younger children still live with us in our small 3-bed, 2-bathroom apartment. we have finally set ourselves up to be financially secure, where we're able to buy a house that we've always talked about, and now he doesn't want to move. He likes where we are and says things are comfortable here, and said more space in the big home would make us not close. I think he is folding under pressure, and it's really upsetting. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I guess first, congratulations on getting stable enough to be able to make the next choice. And I say that because it's very hard for people to change. A lot of people don't like change. I'm one of those people. I plan out my change. If I can't plan my change, I don't want it to happen. So I can kind of relate when, he says it won't make us close. And that could be an excuse. It could be whatever. But what I'm hearing is this change is going to be different. He doesn't want this change. And I've never been married, and CB jokes all the time that I'll be a great ex-wife or whatever, but what anybody would say about me is that I'm very compassionate. So as a wife, I think your job is to make him strong when he's weak. And when he's not sure, you're supposed to make him sure. And so I think it's your job to take that doubt, and instead of looking at it as a weakness, look at it as what it really is. It's change. And things will be different in a bigger house. You'll have more debt in a house. And I can understand that too, not wanting to be in more debt if you're out of debt. So it's a lot of reasons why I could relate to him saying he doesn't want to. And I understand completely why you want him to go ahead and make that change. But just be easy on him. You all are a team. So you're only as strong as he. And you should definitely try more to encourage him to find the positive in that change.
Big Dog, what's wrong with this guy?
It kind of sounds like he just got out of debt and the wife want to get back into debt. A lot of times, the wife may want to say, hey, let's get a bigger house. But I guess my question is, for one, how old are the kids? Because as soon as the kids leave, if the kids are teenagers and they move out, you're going to say, well, shit, this house too big now that we need to downsize.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff kind of left out, but I mean, it could be one of them deals where he's, finally got financially stable and, he just probably don't want to admit it. But I mean, it sounds like she already know the answer. He don't want to get back in that debt.
Joe, you got anything?
You want the serious or the ignorant?
I like both of them.
Well, I'm gonna give you the ignorant. So, she concerned about not moving into a house because somebody else already got that house.
Oh, you trying to say, Joe, he got two houses?
He got two houses. His mistress or side chick, whichever one you want to call it.
It's got to be a mistress. Cause
you got a whole nother family somewhere else. You making another note somewhere else. So you be comfortable in that apartment. Because you tell me what man don't want to be able to get into a bigger space, so he ain't got to be in a confined space with his yelling ass kids and his nagging ass wife.
That's a great point, Joe.
He probably work all the time, Joe, so he ain't there.
Even when he come home, goddamn.
Depends if he's working second.
Get him a house and have his own basement or own garage or something.
Hey, Joe, let me tell you a secret. You don't have no privacy when you got a family.
Oh, I know that. You get away for a couple seconds or something.
Your privacy is on the shitter, boy, and that's why I keep mine outside.
Yeah, that ain't private either.
That's funny, dog. Oh man.
Well, the writer in there, you just get comfortable in your apartment, all right?
The house ain't for everybody, man. Like,
it sure ain't.
Real, like, that's really overrated.
But dog made a good point though, as far as how old the kids are.
Yeah, man. I know a lot of. I got friends, man. They got teenage kids and shit. They same situation. It was in a decent house, and the wife wanted to get a bigger one, and one of the kids already gone. The other one got maybe a year or two left, and she talking about selling, and they ain't been in this big ass house no more in about maybe 2 years.
Damn.
Well, less than 2 years. And she already talking about shit. We don't need all this now. I mean, shit, you knew that. Your kids was already 16, 17 years old. And you had a nice house. You know, so, I mean, I know several examples of that shit. It's something different. If you got small kids, you know, we talking like 3, 4, and 5 years old, and you want that extra space. Okay, that's one thing. But shit, you got teenage kids, bro, and you making life altering decisions, thinking your kid's gonna stay there forever. Then you fucking up.
These teenage kids usually do stay there forever.
Man, these kids, a lot of them, they leaving, bro. 18, shit, they out of there. Especially if you're a real parent, they getting the fuck out of there.
All right, well, Roland, you guys got anything on this?
Yeah, I mean, not knowing the total story. I mean, it's easy to kind of beat the dude up. That's a good reason to not want to get in debt. I was kind of leaning towards that way. But since she's the writer in her, I got to ask her a question. What's your motive? Why do you want a house? It's hard to tell someone that a home is, you know, not all it's cracked up to be, or it's an illusion or whatever, when you're a first time potential homeowner. Everybody wants to get that first house, no matter what age you get to. So my thing is that, are you keeping up with the Joneses? Did one of her girlfriends get a house? You know, is it for status or whatever? But when you start talking about something that we're really starting to get more cognizant about is financial freedom, why would you burden yourself with another huge bill? Unless, and I have a friend like this, he's an older cat. He bought a new house, almost double the house that he used to have.
Yeah. Now, see, and that's why I think we need to talk too. That house
is like. Can I finish my statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So he's only been in the house for 5 years, and it'll be paid off in 2 more. Like, he has that type of discipline. You know what I mean? So if you have the type of discipline that can turn a 30-year into a 15, or you can afford to get a 15 and turn it into a 7, then go for it. But I always say, look at the motive, because I think with this financial freedom piece that everybody's starting to get into, I think we have to start making wiser decisions than we did in the past. And running out and buying $150,000, $200,000 house is not necessarily a good investment anymore. There's no such thing to me as a buyer's market or a seller's market anymore. I know plenty of people who got houses on the market right now moving north for 2 years. Like they've been, and while even if the house is paid off, you still got to pay taxes. You still got to pay light, gas, water, until that house sells. So it's more of a burden than it is anything else. Trust me. So why are you doing it?
We've been sold a bunch of bullshit since the beginning. That was like a false dream. I remember when I first looked into buying a house, and they ran over the numbers, and I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. So I can go out and get a $50,000 house, $50,000 car or some shit, and you say 5 years tops. But if I look at a house for, 100, 150 or whatever, now you telling me I got to do 30? And then when you look at the breakdown of the payment,
30 is being nice. Like, some people are being faced with like 60-year mortgages.
60-year mortgage.
I never heard of that.
When everything fell apart, that's what was happening. It fell apart because people were buying, and these were people like young people our age in their early 20s looking out to try to start out, and they were getting these ridiculous.
That goes back to what we talked about earlier, Cass. Somebody didn't teach these people a 60-year mortgage. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you want to fuck up your day, look at your mortgage and look at the breakdown of where the money goes.
Hell yeah, you ain't lying.
I learned that the hard way.
Hey, let's say I'm gonna just say $1,000. Let's say you pay $1,000 mortgage, for example. About $100 go to your fucking mortgage.
$100.
Oh,
Oh, maybe 50. Goddamn.
Let's get back to
That's why I'm
let's
selling
get
my
back to
house.
this
I'm
lady
moving
though.
back in with my parents.
Are you crazy? Lamar, you want to say anything to this?
Man, I mean, as far as the whole house thing, I mean, I get it. We was in a spot, you know, we decided to, you know, kind of upgrade because we were having our third child. And, you know, we going to be here for a little while, so it just made sense. Now, at the same token, the house that we was in it because one salary, one wage could handle all the bills. Now, we in the house now where we both got to contribute to make the shit work. And if one of us, you know, go down, then it's going to be a little tough. But the house we was in, you know, we still got it. We had to convert it into a rental because what we paid for it back in 05, 06, the values dropped, you know, the mortgage rates have increased. So we couldn't sell it. We just sold it at a loss. So we still got it. And that's something you got to consider when you thinking about moving into this house. What if that value drops? What if that neighborhood, you know, is not as it once was anymore? You know, you got to factor all that in. So if it makes sense, go for it. But just be prepared. You know, you may have that house, you know, a lot longer than 30 years or 40 years or whatever. You may be stuck with it for a while. So you got to consider all factors.
60 years. Wow. Kat, I'll let you wrap it up.
I think it's important that spouses understand that through good and bad, sickness and health, you have to support your mate. And I think that for her to write into us says a lot about where she is in her mind and where her husband is in his mind. So I would like for, you know, the writer in her to know that we understand a million reasons why he could be hesitant. We understand a million reasons why you could be very eager, but you're only as strong as your team. And if your team is moving slow on a decision, you got to ride with the team. So maybe you have to take the L on this and stay in the apartment just a little bit longer for him to feel comfortable to lead you as your husband. So when he's ready to move, you be down for that too.
Somebody marry that woman.
Listen, how about this? How about we all just take turns and marry her? I'll go first. I don't go behind that. Hey, on a serious note though, we do go to cavecrushshop.com, and I think Breast Cancer Month is in October, so we have the new Save the Kittens shirt available on cavecrushshop.com. Now you go there. Kat, explain how you told me how this is going to work.
Well, CB is selling a breast cancer awareness logo without contributing to any breast cancer awareness program. So he left it up to me, I guess, let you guys know that we will go ahead and donate 20% of the purchase of a breast cancer shirt to Avon and any walkathon team. If you have a team and you are remembering someone who has been taken by such a terrible, terrible disease, then let us know. Write us in, tell us your team, and we definitely want to contribute to your team to do the Avon Walkathon. So please keep us posted, write in. We want to donate 20% of the sales of the shirts to that program.
Right.
No, the 80%.
I was just going to donate.
Pocket.
There you go with that. No, I was gonna put it toward the ACS, All Cancer Society, just cancer in general, because everybody.
That's not how the conversation went. The conversation went like, "Oh, so who are we donating the money to?" And you're like, "What?" Like, some people we're adamant about a cause and not give money to the cause.
Well, I was just going to give it to the Cancer Society. I didn't.
The Cancer Society, the cancer, like the Jewel Oscar. Like, you could be a little more specific if you're saying save the kittens. That's
opportunist.
I'm new to this, Kat. This is my first time selling shirts. All right.
You from Chicago, right? Okay, I'll just check.
Now it's time for our favorite part of the show. Tell me something, Joe.
Got dirty headlines, nasty stories, freaky tales. It's time for the Dirt Sheets with Joe Dirt on Inside the Cave.
All right, we got another good story here. It's about a couple, about a wife having her husband back. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need. You need somebody to hold you down. So, in Windermere, Florida, I guess I'm saying that right, Windermere, Florida, a woman told detectives that her husband couldn't be the man seen in the surveillance camera video breaking into a home. And I'll tell you why she said that in a few. So the video from the home showed two men, one of whom was armed with a rifle, enter in and steal a 65-inch LG 4K TV, a Dell laptop, and 5 computer monitors. After the police released the images, they received some tips saying, identifying one of the guys as John Fitzpatrick, who was 32. So they went and talked to his wife at the repair shop that they own. They own a cell phone repair shop. His wife, Susie Fitzpatrick, which is 25, saw the video and came up with an alibi for her husband. ACB.
Great woman.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I give you one good stab at what she said her husband was at.
I have no idea.
All right, she said, well, it couldn't have been her husband in the video because at that time, they was at a swingers club.
Wow. What a great girl.
So that's a drop the mic moment right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we was at the swingers club. The cops ain't finna go check out no swingers club.
Or will they?
Or will they? So instead of just leaving it alone and sticking to her story, she came back and changed her tune and then told the detectives that it was her husband in the video, but he only committed the burglary because he was forced to. Now listen to this bullshit. He claimed that she was drunk when they left the Ransford Place Swingers Club, so they did go to the Swingers Club. And that when they got back to the cell phone repair shop, her husband was kidnapped by 3 armed men and forced at gunpoint to commit the burglary.
I would have believed that.
She had to drop the mic moment when she said they was at the Swingers Club. She could have just left it at there.
Yeah. So who's gonna check?
John Fitzpatrick said the same thing. Of course, the police ain't believe the bullshit, and he wound up getting arrested. So, to all the listeners out there, all the female listeners, have your man back. Whenever something come up and the police is involved, or they looking for him or something, just tell them, hey, we was at the Swingers Club.
Right.
There's always a good alibi.
Great alibi. Nobody's gonna check that.
Nobody's gonna check that.
Like Martin said, put the dope under your titty.
Hey, let me tell you something, Joe. You got to bring up a great point because you guys remember my boy Rat?
Yeah.
Now, I used to always have to call off for work and stuff like that. He used to tell me, he said, look, stop telling these people little simple shit. You want to tell them some reason why you were late for work, you got to tell them something crazy, something they don't even want to touch. So I was working, when I was laid off one time, I was working for this company called Borg Warner. And hell, I just had to get out of there because this was my first time actually on an assembly line. I was like, man, what the hell is this? Like, who would have ever thought that I'd be forced back on the assembly line permanent? But I was working, I was like, man, I got to get out of here. So I told them, I said, hey, my grandmother is trying to kill my mother. I got to leave. Hey, just get out of here. Just go. And I came back the next day, no write-up, no nothing. And they didn't even ask, was everything okay? They asked, do you need to go back home or what? So if you haven't learned anything from the Dirt Sheets, go to the extreme with your lies. Don't tell basic lies.
Hey,
they say,
go home.
Yeah, hey,
go home.
It's better to show up an hour late and say you almost got killed than show up 5 minutes late and just say, hey, I'm ready for the job. Go to the extreme.
Exactly. You can always implement the Swingers Club because I would have told them, look, My mama trying to take my grandmother to a swingers club, and I need to get home to stop this shit.
Oh man.
They wouldn't ask no questions. They were like, "You just go, let's go take care of your business."
Yeah, man. That was a Dirt Sheet.
Dirt Sheets by Joe Dirt. Thank you for listening to Inside the Cave. Inside the Cave now brings you the official store to get all things Cave Crush and Inside the Cave at cavecrushshop.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cave Crush and like our Facebook page, Cave Crush Shop.
Inside the Cave.
Inside the Cave. Inside the Cave. Inside the Cave. Inside the Cave. You're on the #1 show, Inside the Cave.
3 Lee Films.